Hey, here we are on a Monday night.
Welcome to another Monday in the Madhouse. Actually, the last Monday in March.
Yes?
So glad to get rid of it, put it behind us, and
You didn't do
hopefully.
your,
Oh yeah, welcome to the Soluri No Guts, No Glory Hour. That's right. I'm just so anxious to say you're getting rid of March and hopefully all the
Yeah.
awful weather. You know.
oh, we might have one last snowstorm in April.
Yeah, not storm. Dusting.
No,
Dusting is
dusting.
okay. Storm, not so much.
April, March, snow, rain, who cares?
Yeah, but you know what? It makes you look so much forward to the nicer weather, which really is around the corner. I know it. Can't wait to get the top off my Jeep and get on the beach and
Yes, that's coming soon.
topless and naked, as they call it, when you take the doors off and everything on the Jeep. So
Love
it's-
when she's topless and naked.
Yes, love it.
I gotta admit.
Yeah, but anyway, it was a busy weekend, but I don't even really want to discuss anything else because I want to get right to our guests tonight because
Yes.
we have two fabulous guys in the studio, and one of whom which I already knew, and the other who we just had the pleasure to meet tonight. So let's take no further time to introduce Mr. Mark Mandoza and Mr. JJ French, both of
Welcome.
Twisted Sister fame. Hi, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome.
Pleasure always, you know that. And I know we're gonna have a lot of viewers for the show, so that's a good thing. So,
Viewers are always a good thing when you have a show.
but you guys,
Or a concert.
yeah, well, you guys are used to viewers because you've been around just forever. Not to make you guys sound ancient, because we're all in the same age range here, but you guys have been around forever. You've played over 9,000 shows. That's right.
That's correct.
Yeah, sold over 20 million albums with Twisted Sister.
She does her homework. She does her homework.
Played in
I guess
over
you don't need to talk to us then. You can do the whole thing.
34 countries.
yourself.
No, these are little tidbits of
Absolutely.
information that I think
Yeah.
These are
people
TS facts, that's all.
Because people may know you, Twisted Sister, but when you hear the facts of how many albums sold and how many shows, when you think of over 9,000 shows, that's a lot of shows.
And that was everybody based on Long Island?
No,
No.
no. D and I were based on Long Island. JJ's from Manhattan, AJ's Staten Island, Eddie's a bit upstate.
But
He was from the Bronx.
born in the
Bronx.
Yeah,
Okay.
born in the Bronx.
But we are in New York.
We're in New York.
That's about as
band.
New York
New
as
York
it
based,
gets.
yeah,
I mean, it's as
exactly.
New York as it gets, and what always kind of offended us when they would do these benefits for various calamities, whether it was 9/11 or whether it was, you know,
Oh,
Sandy.
Sandy.
Yeah.
That they didn't have, that they had a lot of other people there, like Springsteen and Bon Jovi. I'm sorry,
They're Jersey boys.
they're Jersey, which is fine.
Right.
But no one is more rooted
New
in the
York.
New York experience than us. And the reality is, especially with Sandy, just about every community that was destroyed, from the Jersey Shore around Long Island, we probably played in a club in every
Right.
one of those communities. I mean, that's the part of it that was crazy to me, that they didn't put us on the bill. They said, you know, it's always we're too aggressive or whatever, but it makes no sense because we're not going to take it as a folk song. It's become
Right.
an international folk song. Everyone in the world uses it. People relate to it because it carries a feeling and a
Yeah.
sensation and a freeing when you're frustrated. And we were all frustrated with Sandy. Was just so overwhelmingly horrific
Yeah, it
to
was
all of us. I
devastating.
mean, we all had horrible experiences.
But everybody had
directly.
somebody that was touched by Sandy.
Absolutely.
If you weren't yourself, you had somebody that was.
I mean, I live on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. Technically speaking, yes, we had power, but you know what? One of my closest friends, his house was across from that diner in Bell Harbor, the one that was the famous
Oh,
photo.
right.
He lived directly across the street from
Wow.
that, in an apartment building that was destroyed, and
Yeah.
he stayed with me. He had to move in with me. And Mark has a million, and AJ in Staten Island, like everybody was
Oh,
touched.
yeah.
Eddie Ojeda lives upstate, because it had the weirdest effect in the weirdest loketions,
Yeah.
and everybody was affected by it.
We have family in
My
Lindenhurst, so
sister, his parents, yeah.
they were all
greatly
flooded
affected.
out and stuff.
It
My dad's
was.
77 years old, and he was cooking on a propane tank. You know, he wasn't leaving. He's a trooper,
It
but
was, yeah, it was devastating.
sure.
You know,
was.
and that's that.
And how did you guys not make the
9/11,
billing?
you know?
I don't
Yeah,
understand.
yeah.
Because, you know, 9/11, they didn't want us because they said we were too aggressive, and so we did our own thing.
Well, you did your own thing.
Yes,
I was,
we
I was
did,
gonna
which-
say,
which
for the
way? New
widows,
York Steel.
for the
Sure.
widows and the orphans,
New York
NYPD, NYFD, which
But
is.
nobody does more benefits than us. Nobody cares more because we're so directly plugged in. So
Right.
if we offer you our services and you don't take them, there's something wrong with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
On
it's
a lot of
Offending,
levels.
too. It's offending. I mean, listen, you're New York.
Which, by the way, we do two benefits anyway.
We did one on Long Island and one in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Two benefits for Sandy. We said they didn't want us, we'll do our own.
And
And
we
But-
we made a bigger splash than anybody else.
Yeah, I believe that.
Because the
And
water was
To
still
say
there.
you're too aggressive, I mean, what'd you say to me?
Because the water
I
was
said,
still there.
I said we made a bigger splash than anybody else, but the water was still there.
Well, you can make a splash, that's for sure.
But we did two direct, you know what, the money that we raised for those were handed out, I think directly, especially the one in Jersey, they went to households and actually
money went right
placed
to people.
money
Oh, that's
in
awesome.
people, they went
Yeah.
door to
It's
door.
all third party.
In
A
certain
lot of
Jersey
people
communities, from what we understand,
still
actually handed
have
the
not
families,
received
here's
aid.
$300, here's
I mean, that's
$400.
a whole
Go
other
get food,
problem.
go get some
Without a
of
doubt,
it.
it's a shame. It's a whole
Absolutely,
other
so for you
problem.
guys to directly make
Yeah.
sure families got money, I mean, that's big, because you don't trickles until
Well,
it gets to
sometimes it
those
doesn't get to
households,
where,
you know?
well, in New York, I'm just saying, New York Steel.
Sure.
That was nearly $100,000.
Right.
97% of that money, because Rusty Staub, the Mets baseball
Mets-
player, was in
Rusty
charge of that.
Yeah.
97% of that money was distributed to the widows, orphans,
great.
and
Wow.
emergency services funds. Because otherwise, none of us would.
And that was for what
That was
organization?
after 9/11. That was New York.
What
Steel.
organization did
New York's,
it?
the New, was, New York City Police, Firemen, Widows and Orphans Fund.
yeah.
Right.
Not just firemen, and also emergency services workers. So that was a direct response. I mean, my God, what was 9/11 affected in ways that people don't even understand. If you
Yeah.
lived here, it's forever embedded
Yeah.
in you. We're always 1 degree of separation against someone who's died,
Yeah.
Exactly.
directly
Yes,
died.
yes.
because-
9/11.
Right, if you're not directly,
You're within a
distant.
degree. I mean, my
Right.
daughter's third grade teacher's husband worked for Cantor Fitzgerald.
Right.
He died, right, that day. One of my very good friends owns Windows on the World, the restaurant up there. He was getting his glasses fixed that day, so he missed it, right? And he's alive, and he carries with him an unbelievable sense of, just why me? How did that happen?
Yeah,
Right.
guilt and-
Our guitar player, Eddie
Right,
O'Shea,
right. Yeah.
sister-in-law
Sister-in-law.
in one building, nephew in another building, both got out.
I had a friend of mine that went to, what was that on top?
Windows
of
on the
the
World,
World?
yeah.
He went for an interview, he's a chef. He went for an interview, they told him to come in for an interview, and when he got there, they said that the guy was gone to the dentist.
That
Could
was-
he come back in an hour?
Oh, that was,
And he
I
left.
was actually his
Sure.
eye doc, he went to get his eyeglasses, that was
Oh,
probably Michael, that
oh,
was
is
the
that-
owner.
all right, there you
And
go.
he had to get his eyeglasses, which is why he didn't, that's why he was late that day.
And my buddy today, to this day, he got hit with a brick, because they was coming back when everything was happening, and to this day, it still brings him to tears.
But what does this tell you here? Here's the thing, if we put that aside, talk about, we lived through the Son of Sam that summer,
Yeah.
the blackout summer in New York, the gas crisis. I mean, we've been around so long. Yeah, we can all make jokes about it, like sex, prescription drugs, and rock and roll, that we can make jokes. But the fact is,
Right.
but the fact is,
And we say that many times.
yeah, as long as they're
That's
ibuprofen.
Prescription drugs
rock.
and rock and roll.
But the
said
fact
that.
is, we as a band
That's great.
lived through these massive sociological experiences while we were just simply trying to get a record deal.
Right.
Right.
And it
It's
happened
true.
to run right smack into life.
Yeah. Well, you guys do a lot of benefit stuff,
Well, I
too.
was just gonna
you've
say,
always
for-
done benefit
to
things.
say you're too heavy or too aggressive, look at you guys,
For
you
who?
do benefits all the time.
You know,
It's just, it's
we
another
don't, we
genre
don't
of
care what they
music
say,
that
but,
have-
but JJ
it
made
doesn't-
a couple of important points there. And Twisted Sister, the band, it's also an entity, all right? And it becomes important for all these charities. We do charities collectively, individually, and some of us, and there's a lot to go through. But the one important part about all of it, and I mean all of it, is we will not get involved with something where we see, well, you know what? About 50% of the money is gonna go
Yeah.
to support this and
Right.
pay. No, if it's 90%, 95, 97%, as JJ say, we make sure the money gets to the
Well,
the
that's
place
good.
where
That's
it needs to go.
'Cause that's-
And
I'm
that's important for
always-
us.
I'm always
But we
leery
do,
about stuff like that
without
when
getting,
money goes.
without patting ourselves on the back or getting a lot of press for it, we do a lot of charity work. We're
A
offered a
lot.
lot, we turn down a lot, we try to take the things that we realize will make the most impact on people's lives.
Well, that's awesome.
Positive impact.
Because what you're doing is like, listen, if we're gonna play for free, and which ain't for free because you're donating, really what your earnings would be, let it go to the people. I'm not working for
That's why
someone
you're
else
doing
to
it,
make
right?
money off of it.
Well,
Sure.
We're working to
thing
help
you should
somebody
understand
else.
is we don't play a lot. So basically, either we charge you a whole lot or we charge you zero.
Right.
There's nothing in between. Either you pay us a
Love it.
lot of money to do what we do, or we'll be happy to do it for nothing, if we believe in what you do. So
In the
every
cause,
year, we do
absolutely.
at least one, if not two benefits. We have done this ever since we got back together for the 9/11 benefit, which is what brought us back together. And
I know,
I
I
think
read
that
that.
because of that, because we never did benefits in the early days. Did
Right,
we ever
no,
do
we
benefits
didn't,
in the
no,
early days?
I don't,
I
I
don't think
can't
so.
think of anything.
So we did it, I think the realization of 9/11, had a heavy impact on us, and then after that, we went to Korea, right?
We
did
went, we
the
played
USO
for the
tour.
USO, we did a USO
USO tour.
tour,
Which is a great,
Right.
which was amazing.
I-
It was incredible.
And then
That's
we
gotta
did
be
that
the best.
huge tsunami benefit in Florida, right down at,
Right.
in Orlando, right? We did that.
Universal Studios.
Universal
Right.
Studios, we
Right.
did that one. There was always somebody calling, and so every year we
Right.
said, let's do at least one. My daughter has an eye disease called uveitis. We've done 2 full benefits for her hospital.
For the cause, yeah.
For that cause, Mark has done, how many Bikers for Babies
Well,
ones have you
we're,
guys done?
D&I are now, well, Bikers for Babies, and now the,
Harry Chapin.
the Long Island,
Cares.
Long Island Cares,
Oh,
Harry
that's a
Chapin
great
Food
one,
Bank.
too,
We're in our 3rd year with them, but I think we're in 13 years of doing this, but the important part is, again, Twisted Sister collectively does a few a year, whether we play or just show up for something, but the guys also in the band do a lot of things individually.
Well, I think it's
We
good
give
that
back
people
a
use
real
their
lot
celebrity, though. I mean, I think
without
that's-
getting a pat on the back.
Yeah,
like I
AJ
said
did
before.
Fall in Blue,
Yeah,
correct?
AJ has done
For-
a whole
for-
bunch
can I-
on Staten
before we
Island,
go,
New Jersey.
before we go any further, I would like to, first of all, thank you guys for, at this time in your life with the passing of AJ, to still make it in your schedule to come here and continue to do our show. Secondly, we dedicate this show to AJ and the Perro family, and we made a little something in dedication in memory for AJ, and I want to ask Tommy if he could play that for us. We just did a little something.
He just gave the thumbs up, I guess, when
Okay.
you're ready.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're ready.
And we want to thank you, like we
Yeah,
said, for
thanks so
being
much,
here.
guys.
It means a lot.
Thanks for having us.
There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying the stairway to heaven.
Touching, you know what?
That was great.
I'd like to say
Nice.
thanks to Phil Walker and Paul Studios who
Yeah.
helped put
Right.
that, well, he put it together, I sat with him and we picked pictures. and-
Thank you, Phil.
And it was just amazing, and the ending picture was just so touching with AJ in the middle of all you guys, and for some reason, you're all pointing up, like just saying, we got you, I know you're looking down on us. It just touched me so much, and once again, I'd like to thank you guys for coming out
You
on
know,
our
it's
show.
been a rough couple of weeks for you guys, so.
There's a phenomenon in this industry of bands who've lasted 40 years. There are not a lot of us. And I don't think anyone ever thought that bands were supposed to last 40 years. I mean, growing up, the Beatles were like eight or 9 years, which was like the longest I'd ever seen.
Right.
But no one really anticipated. I didn't think when I started this band that it was going to be 40 years later we'd be talking about it. And in fact, had not a very strange series of events occurred like 9/11, we probably wouldn't be sitting here today
Sure.
discussing it in the same way. It just
Right.
it would have just gone away and a band member would pass away and you wouldn't talk about it. But we are an active touring band amongst a bunch of bands like Motorhead and Aerosmith and ZZ Top and AC/DC and Judas Priest and Kiss and Scorpions. And none of them were supposed to last. So what happens when you last 40 years in this business? Well, this is kind of what happens. I mean, if you want to take a really long view of it, is it a surprise that that a physical ailment couldn't possibly, like cancer, for example, like it took Ronnie Dio. Is it impossible to think it wouldn't happen? Bill Ward from Sabbath had a heart attack, right? So, no, it's not. You never, you hope it never happens to you. You certainly wouldn't think it was gonna happen to your youngest member, in this case, AJ was
Youngest
55
and
years
nicest
old.
guy.
Yeah,
in
well,
the
we
band.
lost the only nice guy in the band. That's basically that's my
Yeah.
biggest concern, is the only nice one.
Well, you still got Mark, you know.
Like I said, we lost the only
No,
nice,
that-
we lost the
exactly.
only nice one in the band.
Exactly.
But no, what happened was horrible, traumatic, devastating. I haven't cried today. It's the first day
Wow.
since a week ago Friday that I have not cried yet, although
so
that could
sorry.
have gotten me there.
I was gonna say that
But,
video probably.
It was, it's been coming in waves, in disbelief. I mean, I'm the one that called Mark and told Mark. I got a phone call from my tour manager who told me I had to call his son, AJ Jr., and tell him. It is unreal on many levels.
Do you remember where you were when you
Oh,
got
of
the
course you
call?
do.
Yeah.
Sure.
But on the other hand, I'm the manager, so I have to also kind of be thinking business. We have something that has to be done here, put your emotions aside and deal with it, and then go home and fall apart, right?
Yeah.
So the falling apart part, the waves of pain have have surprised me. I thought I would be, this is my observation, and Mark can certainly have his. I could be the most cynical person about this business, and my girlfriend would tell you that I would come home from tours and go, oh, I'm so sick of it, I'm so tired, I don't want to do this anymore. But trust me, I believe the guys in Aerosmith do the same thing, guys and kids, I mean, they all do. Come home from tour after a summer, you know, at least from, oh man, I really, don't bother me, I don't want to hear about it. It's like, don't talk to a prize fighter about his next fight if he lost a fight, or
Exactly.
don't talk to a politician when he loses a big one. Don't talk to me. And my girlfriend said, you don't understand, you really love these guys. I go, you don't understand? No, I don't. No, I don't, I really, you know, but you know what? I do, man, because it's been crushing to me. It's been absolutely crushing.
We're gonna hold on that right now. We're gonna take a commercial, and then we're gonna come back, talk more to Mark Mandoza and JJ French. Stay tuned.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, GMC, in the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with your one and only Madhousetv.
You are the man.
Stretching under sedation or manipulation under anesthesia is a very gentle, very precise procedure to very slowly release any scar tissue that is formed as a result of a traumatic injury. Many people ask, how does this work? Will I get hurt? Will you stretch me too far? We only stretch the body part to its normal range of motion. After completing the post-MUA rehabilitation program, it's very common that our patients say to us, hey, I can play ball with my kid again. Hey, I can bowl again. Hey, I can enjoy hiking again. This is what makes it rewarding to us as practitioners.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Do dogs chase cats?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
And we are back at the Soluri No Guts, No Glory Hour in the Madhouse tonight with Mark Mandoza and JJ French. And during the break, you just actually gave some information that was really,
Of an anniversary.
yeah,
Of an anniversary.
heartwarming and almost, you know, and sad as well. But if you
Well,
could,
April 1st, which is in a couple of days, we
2
will
days.
have been AJ's 33rd year as the new member.
Right. Wow.
Always the new member.
He was the new guy.
So he was the baby, and was he the youngest?
Yeah, also
Well,
the
it's-
youngest.
it's the
As we said
youngest,
before,
yeah.
he's the youngest and the nicest guy in the band.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he was the baby of the band.
Right.
You know, I asked all the guys in the band to write a message to put on the website. Because a lot of times I write the stuff I put on behalf of the band, and I didn't want to do it this time. I wanted to say what was on my mind and let Dee write what he wanted to say.
think that's appropriate,
And Mark
though. I
wrote what
think-
and everyone said words, and Mark's words were so touching because everyone put their feelings down.
Yeah.
And for somebody that can go on the website and see the
It's
Twisted
there.
Sister page,
TwistedSister.com, just go on. and look at it.
TwistedSister.com.
Sure.
Well, I think it's appropriate that you all got to say, because you all probably had different dynamics. I mean, like anybody does in a relationship, everybody has a different dynamic with each person. so
And
I think
JJ,
that's
you're the
appropriate.
founder
Yeah.
of the band, correct?
Yeah, I was part of the original crew of morons that started this thing, and those guys all kind of just dissipated and went where they were supposed to, which is not in the music industry, because they didn't have what it takes. What it takes is what we all possess, which is some underlying fire and a refusal to accept the negative, right? And you're going to pursue no matter what, and in a blind march towards some sort of goal, which sounds like one of these motivational speeches, and in fact, all successful people have it, but we didn't have a video to look at, we didn't have a motivational hero to read about, we just were obsessed with succeeding, and we kept on changing members till we found the people who fit. You know, I always say that a band is like a combination lock. You know, you keep twisting it, that clicks and that clicks, and so Eddie came in February of in October 31st of 75, so that clicked, and then Dee came in 2 months later in February of 76, right? Then that clicked. And that was okay for a while with different people, you know, but it wasn't going to take us to the next level. Then Mark comes in
78.
in December of
December of
78. And man, that clicked again. It was like, and that opened up a whole, and when
it clicks, when it
Well, you
clicks,
tell them, Mark, you describe
it's
what
like you
happens
know
when
it.
you came
It's
into
great.
the band.
I joined the band. I haven't been working with the band on a crew. I had just left the Dictators, my first professional band I was in, and JJ, the guys in Twisted became good friends. I'm good friends with them, and JJ said, "What are you doing for the summer?" I said, "Not too much. I don't have anything going on." I was in another club band that I didn't like, and so he hired me to be on the crew for a few months, which wasn't going to be permanent for me because I wanted to be a musician.
And that
But
was a
it
crazy
kinda worked
summer
out.
of 78,
It was a
too.
crazy summer for the band, for Twisted. It was busy.
Busy,
We
yeah.
had a lot of things going on. It was insane, but it turned out. I mean, just the way the timeline, it was uncanny, because I was still working for Twisted Sister when JJ called me one morning and said, "You still looking for a band?" And I said, "Yeah, of course." He goes, "How would you like to join Twisted Sister?" And I said, "Come on, don't kid around with
He
me."
thought I was messing with
Yeah,
him.
Don't tease
and
you.
he
He was
basically,
like, why would our bass player leave? Like, everyone were like,
yeah,
things
right.
are
Why would
doing
your bass
so
player leave?
incredibly
But I
well.
mean, to be funny, he said, "Yeah, well, Kenny, Jesus called Kenny on the phone this morning and told him to quit because Kenny was a born again Christian." You know, kidding around.
Right,
That's
right.
what he said to me, and he goes, "Well, do you really want it?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Okay, this is what happens." "Okay, great." Click, and he hangs up on me. I go, "I'm looking at the phone now. We had just worked."
Seriously?
It
He
was a
said the
Saturday
same
night.
thing when I like,
Right,
you're in the
right,
band, but okay, fine.
So-
Apparently,
so-
I'm this way.
Right.
Yeah.
So the band had just worked. It was a
business.
Saturday night, and we had all just gotten home at like 8:00 in the morning. So I'm looking at the phone. I'm going, "Wait a minute!" And remember, now I'm going to do something that we all remember. I had to go, "Shh."
I was just gonna say, it was one of those phones that had that
Dial.
wiggly
I
cord.
couldn't dial his number fast enough. You know, and he picks up and goes, "Hello,
We all remember
it's Mark."
that.
He goes, "What? You want to quit already? You just got the job." I said, "No, I want to make sure that this. Are you kidding with me? Are you joking?" He goes, "No, I'm not joking. Jesus called Kenny on the phone. He quit. We need a bass player. You've been working with us, and I've also got up and played a lot with him." He goes, "You know most of it already. All we got to do is come up with an outfit, and
Throw some makeup on you.
Right, throw some makeup on you, some
This is what you're gonna look like.
some spandex, and you're in." He goes, "Don't you want it?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely." He goes, "All right, great. Talk to you later." Click. I'm like, now I'm supposed to go to sleep?
Now you're sitting there going,
Yeah.
"No, I'm in
Can I ask you a
Twisted
question?
Sister."
Where did we rehearse before those shows? Which rehearsal studio did we use? Did we use Nino's?
Nino's.
Did we use?
We were
did
Nino's.
use it.
Yeah,
Not
we
that
used
one in
Nino's.
Hempstead. That was owned by that other guy. That
No,
huge giant room.
No,
in
no,
Hempstead.
we rehearsed in Nino's. Nino's.
Did you do any rehearsing in the city? Or
No, it was all because we were Long Island.
We were Long Island.
We
We
were
were based
living
in Long
out here.
Island.
I was.
We were living
we
out
were
here.
living
He
out
was
here.
actually living out here at the time
was living
also.
out here.
I have a good story about you when, probably your second or third band, when you were still young.
Oh, I thought you
It
said
was
my
like
second or third wife. Then I was going to say, okay, wait a minute.
He
19
collects
I think
guitars
so.
and
wives.
and ex-wives.
I think like 1965, and you played with the Prophets, was it?
Oh no, you're talking about my little dinky high school
Okay, but
junior high school.
you rehearsed at a place called the Night Owl
Oh,
Cafe in the
yeah.
Village.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is a little something I had read, and the house band at that
Was the
time
Blues Magoos.
was the Blues Magoos.
Blues Magoos.
So I contacted Pepe today because we're friends with Pepe Castro.
Yeah.
Hi, Pepe, you're on your
Yeah.
way home from Florida. You probably landed already. And he asked me to make sure I told you hello from him.
So,
No, he
well,
said a big hug and a kiss.
Well, no, actually, he said a hello to him and a big hug and a kiss to me.
So, Pepe Castro
But I'll give you a hundred
traumatized the hell out of me when I was 13 years old and he was 17. And I was playing with this little band
Right.
at the Night Owl Cafe on the weekend afternoons just to clean up, and they would let us play our 3 songs.
And to pay for that, you had to clean up,
we had to clean up the bar.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
we played
I did my
Wipeout,
homework.
The Last Time by the Rolling Stones, and
Wipeout.
Dedicated Follow Fashion by the Kings. So it was only 3 songs we knew. And we were on this equipment, and it was the Blues Magoos equipment, and I remember they had just taken over the Lovin' Spoonful's house band slot. Because Lovin' now had moved on.
Right.
They moved up,
So
yeah.
this is in like February '65 or '66. Like 13 years old, and we're on their equipment. And I remember I never saw equipment like that because it was like Vox Essex amps and Super Beetle amps, and we'd only had little tiny Fender or not even Fenders. We couldn't afford Fenders. We had Ampegs or Kents or some cheap crap. And they had like these Vox amplifiers, and we're on there playing, and then second weekend that morning, they walk in and they're like 17, and like they came up on stage, and Pepe Cash, and I was playing through his amp, and he
Pepe.
comes over and he goes,
Pepe,
"What
right?
the fuck are you doing on our equipment?" And he throws me off, and I'm like, and I'm terrified, and we all huddle in the little booth, and they come on stage, and they write. We ain't seen nothing yet. They're writing their single. We ain't seen nothing, so we're watching them write the songs like, this is the big time. That's the Beatles. Holy shit, this is a real band. And like we're sitting there, So, okay,
I love that.
fast forward, 25 years later, I'm hosting a cable show, and Pepe is a guest on the show.
That's
And he
great.
sits next to me, and I go, "Hey, man, how you doing?" I said, "Let me kind of set the scene for you. Night Owl Cafe, yeah, 965." Said
He's not
the
excited.
manager of the club was a guy named Tommy. He went, "Yeah." I said, "Let's see now. The way the drums. Jeff sat on the floor of the set of drums. He's looking and goes, yeah." And I go, and Lion, the bass player, he was playing through a Vox bass amp. And, yeah. And I said, and Mike, the guitar player, is playing through an Essex, and he's playing a Telecaster, and he goes, yeah. And I said, and you are playing through a Super Beetle, and you're playing a Telecaster with a Vox treble booster plugged into it with a coil cord, and you're standing next to a purple torpedo that has Blues Magoos and yellow stencil on it. He goes, how the hell do you know that? And I got up and said, because I'm the motherfucker who you threw off the stage at the age of 3. Except now I'm like wearing heels.
Yeah.
And I grab it, he's like, yo.
I ain't 13 no more.
It was very, very
That's
great.
great.
Well,
I just-
they play with, he plays now, with Barnaby
I
Boy.
run into him all the time, by the way. I ran
do
into
you?
him about 6 months ago. I ran into him at a Gibson showroom.
Okay, I just want to lead into this, because he plays with Barnaby Boy, who's now, they'll be playing we're gonna be here on the 13th.
They'll be
The,
out.
The Alessi
The
brothers.
Alessi brothers and Mike Riccadella.
And they're gonna be playing at the Bolton Center on the 18th. But the drummer, Mike Riccadella, also called me and said, make sure you tell Mark Mandoza I said hello.
I know
So-
him well.
so Mark-
Years ago, I haven't seen him.
So
in
Mark,
100.
Mike Riccadella says hello.
The roots are deep.
We're gonna stop you right there, only because we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and then we want to come back and just find out just how deep the roots are,
There you
because
go.
it's really fun stuff. We'll be right back.
I think this is a good time to tell you. You're doing okay, Mom. I can call you Mom, right? I know we haven't known each other very long, but you seem like a real keeper. You're not perfect. There was that strained carrots incident, but you're trying. You pick up my bottle every time I toss it out of my stroller. That's high comedy to an 8-month-old. You hum the Barber of Seville when you wash my hair. So cool. And your rub-downs are out of this world. Anyway, I want you to know how much I appreciate you. You know, right? How much I love you? You're doing okay, Mom.
Being a fireman is more than just putting out blazes and giving kittens CPR. Sometimes my duty demands I fan the flames, like when a call comes in from a lady who needs immediate assistance. Maybe she needs help with a computer thing. Maybe she wants to go antique. Could be as simple as understanding that walking in heels it's hard. Aussi simple que l'été dernier à Paris. C'est sympa. Maybe it's ladies' night in, and she wants a simple, delicious recipe for margaritas with a twist. First, a can of limeade. Now hold on to this. You'll be using it. Side note, kittens make everything better. Next, add water. Now, a bottle of light beer. No, shh. Trust me, I'm a professional. And last, and most important, Sauza Blue Tequila. Now, mix it up. Ole. Yes, that's what I'm trained for. Whether it's to help her choose leggings or pants, telling her leggings are pants, or discussing leggings and jeggings versus pant pegging at her next ladies' night in, I'll come to the rescue. Don't call me a hero. Just call me. Let me know what time.
Then drop that camera.
And we're back.
And we're back. And right before the
That's
commercial
not a camera,
break,
that's like a tablet.
you were going to tell us how
Big screen TV.
deep the roots actually went with that.
With what? Come on, you remember everything, you can't remember what you're
Scattered
talking
that
about.
bad?
Well, no, I'll say this, right, so Mark and I have these conversations about first club you ever played at. Where was it? Remember, we've had these conversations. What's
Yeah.
the first club you ever
Zappy's
remember
in New
playing?
Jersey. With Twisted?
No, ever playing in like Long Island with
Long
another
Island.
band. What was the first club?
I want to say it was some local little bar. I couldn't even tell you the name of it. But I mean, after I got into that band with Fred Enoch and Jimmy Coveney, we
Right.
played everywhere. And you guys were playing the larger places.
A little bit larger.
Yeah, a little bit larger. Like we played the Iron Horse in Hicksville. Played the Rathskeller at CW Post. Yeah, local bars. I mean, dive little local bars where we were playing.
So
You guys were
Twisted
playing
went
something
through
larger.
its first assault was in 1973. We were the house band at the Hatter in the Hamptons. That was our first connection to Long Island with the original band. And then
Yeah, was that makeup? You had
No,
makeup
full.
on?
That was
Always,
not.
yeah.
That was not
Yeah.
just makeup. That was full transvestite, full female impersonation. Me and the singer were chained together. We had dog collars on. We were on stage. We kissed during the Bowie medley. I mean, it was like about full transvestite. It's the best way to get laid.
I saw
trust
that
me.
stuff.
Now, let me ask you,
That's
this.
what we
Your-
get. So-
when you did your makeup, was that makeup the same from day one to your finish?
No, it evolved.
Evolved.
It
They got
always
more and more?
evolved.
Well, we went from makeup to non-makeup back to makeup.
Right.
And non-makeup. So the earliest days were that, and then that version of the band went back to New Jersey because it was a Jersey-based band, and would come to Long Island to play places that like Ricochet Slick by far doesn't exist anymore, but in Wantagh by the train station, which became Renaissance. It was called Mr. T's in '74. So that band played Mr. T's in '74. That band eventually went back to the OBI East in the Hamptons. That band eventually broke up. When it reformed again and we reassaulted the Long Island scene with Dee and Eddie, the first rooms that we played in were like Max's and Wantagh.
Max's.
Which held about 300 people. Like they were keeping us in rooms that kind of like held about 300 because they had tiers. You know, there was tiers. Of
Right.
Like, the drinking age was 18, so there was millions of kids out there. But to break into what was that club in Baldwin?
1890s.
1890s represented a
The next
real,
step,
like
a
a
big
next
step up.
level, like a
Oh, how big was
500.
it? Oh,
That
really?
was 500 people. If you could do 1890s, you usually did it with another band.
Right.
And then you could kind of do Hammerheads in Levittown because they were of a similar amount of 500 to 600 people. That you could do that. And then you did that for a while, right? You kind of did it for a while at that level. And then they kind of moved you east to like Chaucer's Ale House.
Chaucer's Ale
That would
House.
cover like, that's about 500 people out east, you know, Oakdale. Then you kind of, they moved you to either Tooheys or the Mad Hatter in Stony Brook. That was, you know, and the Hatter would be the Hamptons, and the Hamptons was always a different animal because no one expected a band to draw there because the Hamptons
Because
are the Hamptons.
people went.
You
That's
can
when clubs
have
were
any,
great
you have
back
any
then.
band of the
That's when they were
Hamptons.
great
People just got
rock
drunk,
bands
you
back
know?
Everybody was
miss-
smoking
so
too
miss
in the
that.
bar. then.
Smoking, drinking.
So-
I mean, I can't imagine how in those days, if the drinking was as tight as it is today, they'd just be having precincts on the road, right?
Yeah.
No one else-
Exactly. We
The
say that all
whole
the
Montauk
time.
Highway was a drunken.
Yeah.
Well,
freaking-
the cops used to pull you over and say, hey, you
Get
been
home
drinking,
safe.
you know,
Yeah, just-
how far you gotta go? All right, just be careful going home.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they
Now
make you
it's-
just pull in a parking
So
lot and
your
start
first
off.
Go
big,
pull
your
over,
first
yeah.
big venue to say Twisted Sister.
I would say the
Do
venue
you
that
remember
you,
what it was?
the venue you aspired to play, the venue that really dictated that something was happening in your career was being able to headline Speaks in Island
Speaks.
Park because that was 1,800 people, and if you could, and so we tried once and had a bad night and were not
Did
asked
you?
back for a while. I think we
Really?
played with Baby, and it didn't
okay.
work. But then we went back to the Hammerheads and we kept on honing the show and honing the show and honing the show. And eventually Speaks came back and said, okay, which was around February, March of '78. By the time the summer rolled around, our popularity had exploded. And this is really the demarcation line between just a bar band that wasn't gonna go anywhere. And the ability for us, and you can correct me if I'm wrong in this, the ability for us to really envision that there's
That's
something else
correct.
out there.
That's correct, yeah.
Speaks had to pick 4 bands for the summer of '78. And they picked Zebra, the Stan Anderson Band, the
Stan
number one
Anderson, wow,
Southern
okay.
rock band.
Zebra.
Zebra, Rat Race Choir, and Twisted Sister. And each one of us was given a night. And as the summer went on, the numbers got crazier and
did.
I
By
mean,
the
like,
way, I
we're
have to tell
talking
you-
crazy numbers. It started at like 700 people on a Thursday, 900 people on a Thursday, 1,100 people on a Thursday. By the time July 1st, and this was starting in May, in the end of May, June, by the time July rolled around, it was 1,600, 1,700, 1,800. We were putting in 1,800 people. Not all of us were, not just us.
Yeah, all the
Stan
bands.
Anderson, Rat Race,
Right. Yeah, those
Zebra,
were
and us were
big
putting in
bands,
1,800 people a night every Thursday night, plus all the other clubs we played, plus the weekends. That summer was the summer that I think we all got the message that maybe all of us are special, and this is what's going to separate us from
That's the
everybody
feeling.
else.
That
That's
was
the
pro-
feeling.
that honestly was probably one of the best summers I ever had in my entire life. Was 1978. I was 17. It was all about the bands and the music and the partying.
And it's been
and
all
just- it
down
was
since
just-
then, right?
It's picked up the last few years.
It actually hasn't. And I just remember that honestly as one of the best times of my life. with
Now, when
some
you,
of the best
when you
people,
first
and
went out touring, who
music was great.
who were you opening for?
That's what I want to
Well,
know.
the
What
very
was the
first-
big venue?
Wait,
and
the
who
very
was it
first
with?
band we opened was Blue Oyster Cult at Nassau
What's it
Coliseum.
called?
Let's
Oh,
be.
okay.
But you're talking
Wow.
about
Yeah,
a
that-
tour,
that's a
a tour?
Tell them.
Iron Maiden?
No,
right?
Crocus and Blackfoot.
Crocus
tour,
and
come
Blackfoot.
Oh, and I
That's
love
right.
freaking
Crocus.
tour.
Crocus and
Well,
Blackfoot.
Mark was the. Wait a minute.
I
First
love
of all,
that.
we
No,
had
no, you're
never
right,
we
you're
had
right.
never been east of the
Yeah, these
Delaware
guys-
Water Gap.
I already
Ever. He
come
already
from the
been touring.
dictators
He was
around the world.
He's been around the world.
And these guys are just used to being in a club band. So I would constantly tell them it's a whole different thing going on the road
So
and playing these big concerts.
we
And you're
get-
going to other parts of the country. We were used to sitting around here, and I said, just when you cross the Mississippi, everything starts looking alien to your eye. You're like not used to seeing this.
Right,
type of
right.
right.
And how are
things.
the fans? Like,
in-
I mean,
We have to
because
understand,
let's face
we
it,
were
people
we
are-
were in a cocoon of the Northeast.
Crazy.
We
Right.
didn't know what the world knew or what the world didn't know. We were successful in England. We had an outpost in England, but we didn't know what was going on. So when we got the first tour with a band who we hated, which was Crocus,
Crocus.
and Blackfoot, who we were
Yeah, I love that.
We were friends with Blackfoot.
Okay.
In fact, in a strange twist of fate, Twisted Sister and Blackfoot were actually managed by the same guy back in 1973. They're the same agent, same manager. And Ricky, unfortunately, we had the same girlfriend, but no, we'll get into that.
Ricky Medlock.
Ricky Medlock, I
Right.
love him. I love Ricky. But
Sorry.
But we decided, here we finally have this record, and they said go out on tour, and the only ones that would take us out were Blackfoot and Crocus. And we get the tour, we get the dates. Now we're used to playing at the worst Poughkeepsie and the Jersey Shore, and maybe the Hamptons. Like, oh my God, that's like, whoa, it's such a long tour. Like, who booked that? Now we get Salt Lake City, Phoenix, San Diego, and like we've never seen this before. We've never done it. So we rent a Winnebago.
Oh.
And we drive 56
I bet the
hours
stories that
straight
could come out of that
to
would-
Salt Lake City. We play 29 minutes because we're told
Like
if
we
we
had
go
done.
a minute over, they're going to shut the power. And then we get in the Winnebago, and what happens? The Winnebago breaks down. So Mark, being the mechanic, goes under the Winnebago.
I had to.
Like Long Island.
We in the middle of nowhere, the actual starter went on it. Right, the starter actually went.
And you
So-
used to be in that business too, right? If I
Yeah, I've
remember
been in the
right.
automotive
No, he's the mechanic.
Yeah, I've been.
Get
I've
Mark.
been, I've been.
I used
I've
to
been in the
work for
automotive business
WW,
forever.
and we had
Right,
that
exactly.
connection,
But in any
that's right.
case, so I found a piece of 00 gauge cable, like next to a railroad track, and when we wanted to go, I would just turn the ignition key on. I would slide myself under it, and so
Listen, that's what you gotta
Dee
do
was
to get
very
to the
funny
gate.
about it.
That's
Dee
what
was
you
very
do.
funny about it.
That's funny.
Everybody be standing next to the RV doing introductions. Our rep from the company be there meeting, and he would go, and it's Mark Mendoza, and I
You see
put up
his
my
legs
right
sticking
foot,
out.
and they would shake my foot
This is
because my
heavy
legs
metal.
were always sticking out from underneath this RV.
These are great
Because
stories. These are
yeah,
great
yeah, I
stories.
mean, because we didn't sit still long enough to get it fixed. We had dates we had to keep up with. So no matter what the weather was like, was pouring rain or hot or sticky, whatever it was, I dropped a piece of cardboard, and every mechanic out there, or every motorhead, every nut out there is going to know you drop a piece of cardboard on the floor, you slide under the thing.
So we're in a
But-
Coliseum.
The bottom
and
line
he's-
is you did it.
and
That's
so
what you
so
guys
he
got.
gets the vehicle started, and the next gig
Talk about
is
relentless.
in Phoenix. We had to drive through New Mexico, and as we're driving through New Mexico on a
Desert?
Sunday morning at 9 a.m., the car starts to die.
Shake.
The start to shake and die. Charlie's
Transmission
driving,
goes.
right? Charlie's
I
driving.
told him to take it easy, and he
and
beat
all of
it,
a sudden,
Who was driving?
our
sound man at the time, Charlie.
And he's going, hey, what's happening?
Yeah, what's happening?
Thing
It's
isn't
going
moving.
slower.
So he pulls off the ramp at Raton, New Mexico, which is like
Raton,
some
New
like
Mexico
freaking
on a
born again Christian
Sunday
capital of the world.
morning.
And we
Okay,
pull up in front-
tumbleweed on the streets.
And we
And
pull
where
up.
are you guys? Hey.
No, wait, we pull up
Oh,
in
you
front
gotta
of
hear
this
this.
diner.
Yes.
And I said to the guys in the band,
Culture
don't
shock.
stick your head out. Do not
Right.
show your faces. I walk in the diner. I wear a hat. I said, hey man, how you doing? I'm from the Southern Cross Band. Our vehicle just broke down. Y'all think you could help us out?
This
And
is a true story, and the names he's going to say
are all
is
true.
absolutely true.
So
You
they
gotta hear
go,
this.
you gotta go across the street to the Annie Get Your Gun bar and talk to Pistol Man Gino.
Pistol Man
So
Gino.
I go across.
Andy, get your gun bar.
Annie
yes.
Get Your Gun bar. So I go across the
Classic.
street to the Annie Get Your Gun bar, and I says Pistol Man Gino, and there was like a guy, like he's a Vietnamese guy. Oh, Pistol not here. He gone for night. I said I need to talk to him. I need a car. He goes okay, and he hands me his phone number, and I go to a payphone. And I call up this number, and it's like
And
9
again,
o'clock in the
I was
morning.
just gonna say that 'cause
And I go,
There's no
I
cell
go,
phones.
Hey, phones.
I love
Is this Pistol? Yeah. I said, hey man, this is JJ from the Southern Cross Band. My Winnebago just broke down, and I understand you can help us. He goes, here's the number of my partner Wayne from the Ugly Duckling Used Car Agency. Y'all
Ugly
call,
Duckling
you
Rental
call
Car.
Wayne.
Yeah.
So I call Wayne.
That's the only-
I go, Wayne, hey man, this is so and so from the Southern Cross Band. Can you help us out? He goes, yeah, I could do that, man. I'll rent you a couple cars. Where's your next gig? I said, next gig was in Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
So he goes, yeah, or Tempe, one of the two. He goes, yeah, man. He goes, I'll give you a couple of rental cars. We're just local, so we're gonna have to send some good old boys to come and get the car the next day. So y'all gonna have to go to Avis or Hertz and rent something past that. But I can get you to your next gig. He said, meanwhile, what are you gonna do with the Winnebago? I said, I don't know. It's broke down. He goes, well, y'all take it to the Happy Gonzalez Chevy dealership,
Happy
and they'll
Gonzalez
fix it, which is
Chevy
true,
dealer.
absolutely
Which is
true.
The names are true.
Yeah.
Absolutely
I love it.
true.
That's what makes it
So
so
we
much
drop it
fun.
off at the happy.
Great.
Now, mind you, we need to move. So
Right,
we just
we-
drop the freaking Winnebago. We'll deal with it. We rented it in Jersey. We'll deal with it later on, which is a whole other freaking story. But we proceed in 2 rent-a-cars.
Now wait, where's all your
Well, it's in a little U-Haul
In a
truck.
trailer.
No, in a
I
truck.
thought I shut it off. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry.
That's
I
okay.
thought I shut it
So
off.
they
I'm having
drive-
a great time
we
here.
drive-
Who
is
is
it?
it? 'Cause
We drive to
somebody
Tempe.
knows that I'm on the show, and they're like,
they say, is it a great show?
calling me anyway. You know?
We drive to Tempe or Phoenix, we do the show, and then we leave the cars, we rent the cars, and then this is how we did the rest of the dates. This is absolutely true. Those 2 rent-a-cars and the truck. The truck had 2 roadies in it, and the rent-a-cars had 5 band members and 3 crew guys, so there's 4 people per car. We drove from there to San Diego, from San Diego to Riverside, California, from Riverside down to LA, and then we played LA, then we drove from LA to Salt Lake City, from Salt Lake City to Denver. From Denver, we drove 19 hours, and that was 22 hours. We drove from Denver down to, we did Beaumont, Austin, and Houston, Texas at the Cardi's chain 3 nights in a row. Drove 36 hours back to New York City to play the Beacon Theater where we dropped the rent-a-cars off, got on a plane, flew to England and did a whole Monsters of Rock festival circuit, which ended with the last performance of Thin Lizzy, the last actual performance,
the original
the
legend.
actual last performance of
It was a
Thin
great
Lizzy
night.
with Phil
Yeah,
Lynott,
Phil
the
Lynott.
actual real final performance with them. Came back to New York, got in a bus, drove out to Kansas City and did a tour with Queensryche. Bottom line is, we killed ourselves for a year doing these kinds of
Non-stop.
crazy
Well,
jokes.
I just want to
Non-stop.
tell the audience, for all of you Twisted Sister fans out there, this is what a band with heart and determination and the love of what they do, this is what they do to get it to the fans.
I got to say something.
I think
On
it's
stage,
amazing. It's great stories.
over the years, especially since we got back together, because it wasn't around before that,
Right.
JJ gets up and he takes one of the spots between the songs and he does a rap and he talks about things. And one of his raps has to do with the fact that people watch, was it American Idol or these shows, and the people on American Idol, I mean, I give them all the credit in the world for doing this, but they go, I'd like to thank my fans for sticking this out, and their fans, I've only seen them for what?
15 weeks.
15
Yeah.
weeks.
Thank you for sticking with me
Okay?
for 15
There
weeks.
was not one thing that went on with Twisted Sister that wasn't crawling to a ditch and fighting for every single, clawing our way up every
Well,
single
that's what
hill
makes
and
you
fighting
guys what you
everything.
are.
Fighting for everything we got. There was nothing was handed to
Right.
us. Nobody said, hey, this is the way you do this.
Yeah, I tell
This
these
is what
kids,
happens." Yeah.
American Idol, if they come back to you after 35 years, then let's have a conversation. In fact, when people come to me, when bands...
Wait, let's hold that thought, because we gotta go to a commercial.
I just want to have you guys take us out for the commercial. So the camera's on you. Take us
man.
out. Say whatever it is in Twisted
We're going to a
Sister.
commercial?
We're going
Yeah,
to
but
commercial.
say
Go.
what's-
Hey, I'm Mark Mendoza, and
There
this
you
is
go.
this is JJ French, and we're from Twisted Sister, and we'll be right back after these messages.
There you go. Love.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Dow. We have a multidiscipline practice in Melville and Ronkonkoma, New York, and we treat patients with many, many different conditions, from newborns through geriatric patients with numerous different techniques. There's a technique and a type of treatment for every class of patient. We have them all here. Here's my son Thomas, also a doctor of chiropractic, working on one of our patients' cervical spine. This patient has had chronic neck pain for many, many, many years, has been to a multitude of different practitioners with little or no response. And with our specialized techniques, she has improved tremendously and continues to improve on a daily basis. We have 2 practices, one in Melville and one in Ronkonkoma, New York. We are a multidiscipline chiropractic office. What that means is we have chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, psychologists, all working as a team and a network of outside professionals such as orthopedists and neurologists that we work hand in hand with to help determine what your injuries are and the best way to treat your injuries. I have the great pleasure of having my son in practice with me. We work hand in hand, father and son, to give our patients the best care possible, and a staff which is loving, caring, and you'll never have to wait at all in our office for service. Many times patients come into our office and they have what's called a soft tissue injury. Soft tissue injuries are like scars inside your body. If you've ever been cut on the outside of your body, you get a scar. The same thing happens inside of your body to your muscles and ligaments. So our job is to determine where those are, stretch the muscles, adjust the vertebra back into their correct position, and then refortify the normal structure with exercise. That's what we do best, and I hope someday you'll come see us at one of our 2 offices. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Soluri No Guts, No Glory Hour. Right here.
I love it. Last time Joe Rock had you do that at Christmas time, we had the outtakes of
You know,
that.
I got to
You
admit,
were
the
hysterical.
first time I was on the
funny.
show, I had no idea what it was about and what the words were and what the names and everything. Like, I just met you guys. I had no clue.
right.
But now that I know it, it's easy to do all of this.
Well, when
know?
when you did the Christmas thing and you did the Christmas
Right,
the lead out, and then Joe says, "All right, you're gonna say Soluri, no guts." You're going, "Oh, come on now."
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Too much. You're really dying. And actually,
Because we got all the outtakes.
it was originally just the Soluri Glory Hour,
Right.
Right.
but Vinny had a bad accident 2 years ago,
Right.
and he came on the show the very next
All
week,
wrapped up,
bandaged
bandaged up,
scar,
scar
big
across
thing on
my
his head.
head.
And a friend of mine wrote in and said, "No guts, no glory."
Glory.
And I said, you know what? That just sounds really great. I love it. And it's stuck, and I think it's fabulous. So we have some pictures we're going to put up. They're going to come up on the screen, right? Okay. That's great. I just love that. And
That's,
colorful. and
Stay Hungry.
Great for the stage.
Is that what that is?
Stay Hungry tour.
Yep.
The
that-
fences,
that is
the pink fences.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay.
At some point, I would.
I see you with
That's,
I see you with a lot of those red and
That's,
pink
J-
guitars.
that's JJ doing his imitation of Randy Jackson from Z.
Look
Oh,
at
that's-
that.
Oh, there's a full
There's-
transvestite mode right there.
Yeah.
That is Rocky Horror.
My God.
That's our Rocky Horror
I'm
period.
digging the
Right,
pants.
that's before
but
I
look at the
was in the
size of
band.
them. Nobody ever said anything.
That's
Yeah,
before I was in the
exactly.
band.
That
with
is
Kenny Neal.
crazy.
Oh man, that's me looking like my sister.
That is.
Yep.
It would, right?
There
I
he
love-
is.
I
That's
love
rock
that
and roll.
photo.
man.
There's me
There
saying,
he is.
I love
what
it.
key is that in?
All right.
I love that. That's a great guitar.
Well,
and I
that's
love
not
that
too old.
too.
That's recent.
Now, when was that? From how long ago? And from where?
This
do you
last
remember?
couple, I don't know which
Yeah.
festival.
Last couple of years, the
I don't
last
know
couple of
which one.
summers, maybe. Yeah.
Love it.
The animal. You do like your leopard.
And that's Mark as a baby.
Oh yeah, there it is. There's
We finally
the
found a baby picture of you,
That's a
buddy.
baby picture of me.
I searched all
With my
around. I
goatee.
got
Yeah,
it.
you found it
I
absolutely
love it. I
good.
love the lip line.
There's me
Yeah.
as Super Hooker.
Is JJ
Super
French.
hooker.
That's
I love
great.
it.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Listen, it's great to have.
I told you I'd find one.
So you know what this is really, what this is for us is a way we're laughing for the first time in a couple of days. 'cause we
Yeah.
really-
Well,
It's
you know
been-
what?
Because we've really been
I'm
happy,
glad
because
we
we
were
haven't
part of it.
We really
I'm glad
haven't
we
been
are
able
part
to,
of
because
your-
digesting this post AJ life that we have, that we're looking at right now, is something that we could never have imagined. I could imagine many scenarios, and this is a scenario that I did not imagine. Doesn't mean we're not going to figure it out, but it's not a scenario that any one of us could have possibly.
Well, you know what? You don't go
Imagine.
through your life saying, "Oh my God, what if?" You live your life.
And
You're busy.
things
You
that
do what
happen,
you
they
do,
happen.
and stuff happens. And
Well, you know,
do have to
sometimes
carry on
people
and-
go because you know they're going to go because they have some sort of
Right.
terminal illness. You know,
Right,
we didn't
right. Was
think
unexpected.
AJ, the youngest, nicest guy in the band, was going to pass away on us. you
Yeah,
know?
natural
You
causes.
I mean,
He's
he-
a rock and roller who died of natural causes. How unusual.
Yeah, how unusual is that?
You know,
Natural
it wasn't.
causes.
It wasn't like he's
You
an
know,
alcoholic
but-
and you could predict this
but
thing.
he-
It
Right,
wasn't.
certain people you could see.
You know, I have a brother, AJ, the Anthony John, but all our lives we've always
AJ.
called him AJ.
AJ, his was Anthony Jude.
Anthony Judah. We called him AJ because
AJ.
we didn't want to call him
Tony.
by his original name, because we had a drummer that we didn't like whose name was Tony Petrie, and we didn't want to say Tony was Tony Pirro, so we didn't want to get close to that.
It's
The
close.
initials
And
were
it's
similar.
close, yeah, it's
That's
close.
funny.
Yeah, I mean, so I really
Tony
found in my
Petrie,
diaries,
TP.
I said on March 9th, 1982, March 2nd, he auditioned. March 16th, we officially named him AJ. And this was really crazy. I told this to you. On March 26th, we played the worst night of our lives. The fewest people ever paid. Like, people think we always played in front of 18,000 people, but I actually wrote down, tonight is the fewest amount of people we've ever played to. This was in 1982. It was less than 100 people in Staten Island. The promoter screwed it up. And I just wrote that. Then I wrote down, the next day we told our drummer, Joey, that he was out. The joke in the band is, this is a true story. When you were out, rather than give you 2-week notice, we just took you to a diner, took you out for a meal, and gave you 2 weeks pay. Because we just didn't want you. Once we told you we didn't want to see you again, we gave you your money. So it was always take you to the diner. Well, we took Joey. I wrote in my book. I said Joe Gerber.
Joe Gerber, our tour
I said,
manager.
we took him to the diner.
We took him to the diner.
And then
told him he was
AJ's
fired.
first show was at Lemoore.
Yeah,
Oh, more.
On
Okay.
April 1.
in Brooklyn.
And he stayed the drummer for a long time. He left during the Love Is for Suckers period to join Cities. And frankly, when the band ended in 87, beginning of 88, I never thought it was ever going to get back together again. Mark had been wanting to. Mark joined Blackfoot.
I was in Blackfoot for 2.5 years at that point.
I walked away.
Toured nonstop.
So
I walked away
after one of your gigs, when you go, you guys want to go to the diner? Everybody goes, no.
Well, we always joke.
We always joke.
Don't
about
ever
the
have
diner.
anyone say, let's go to the diner.
Let's go to the drive-through.
You know,
But when I walked away, by the way, when I walked away, I didn't play guitar for maybe 5 years. I don't think I touched the guitar.
Now listen, I came across a picture of you with like 20-something good red and pink guitars. Were those all yours?
No, that's the Pink Burst project that was done to raise money
Okay.
for
That was
UBI
for his
funds, all
daughter,
that stuff.
yeah.
Okay.
But we had different paths. Mark kept saying, let's put it together, let's put it together. I said, Mark, I really don't ever want to play again. I did it for 15 years. I need some time. And Mark continued to play.
I always continued to play. I never
still
stopped
playing.
playing. Yo, I
With
always
Joe
play.
Rock and the old
Listen,
Always
we,
play.
unfortunately,
We're getting to
we're out
wrap
of
it up
time,
'cause
but,
it's-
but I want to ask you, I mean, we're grateful that you came, especially at this difficult time. But could you come back and do a part 2 with some more of those crazy stories at some
Sure,
point?
we'll come back for
Can we
you.
get you back?
As
We'd
long as
love
you pay me
that.
double what you paid me today.
You got it.
Well, that means
Oh, I
it's
get
nothing.
I got 2 bottles of water.
Because we
And-
didn't.
I
we
got
2
didn't-
bottles of water
We didn't
next
even get like rate, to get here. Like
And you're
union
even
rate.
welcome to bring your instruments, whatever you choose to do.
No,
There's
we'll just
so
come and
much
talk.
to
We
Can we
Yes.
just say
discuss.
this
I would
really,
love to
that
have
we
you
want
back.
the world to know that AJ Pirro is absolutely irreplaceable in our band. There will be a drummer that will play, and they could be great drummers. They could be phenomenal drummers, and they will do a wonderful job.
Because you have to.
You have to
get
do it,
someone
and we
You
will
right.
honor-
Of
can
course.
replace the drummer who
I was
we
gonna
can't
say.
replace,
But
but we can't replace the person.
Right.
You can replace the beat, but
Camaraderie,
not the man maker.
camaraderie, and
that's-
when he was as a family to us.
Trust
can
me, if
never
I
be
could get away
replaced.
with a drum machine and not have to pay somebody, I can. No,
Yeah.
you really can.
He's
He's
the
so much a
business
part.
guy.
He's so much a part of us, and basically,
And always
we are
will
now,
be.
we were
But
5
everybody
guys.
knows that.
Now we're 4, and we'll have someone, and we're going to fulfill all the shows that are up on the schedule that you see this year. If you got
We'll be
tickets to the
playing.
festivals, we're there.
playing.
You know, we're going to make an announcement shortly that we're doing we're going to be doing a show in Vegas on May 30th, and it's going to be dedicated to AJ, and we're hopefully going to have a bunch of all-star drummers coming in, each one doing 3 songs,
awesome.
and that's we will announce that soon. We will announce the replacement drummer for the summer shortly. We'll do all the shows, and then there will be an announcement concerning 2016, which will be a major announcement. That'll be
Awesome.
coming shortly.
Well, once again, thank you guys for coming.
Couldn't
Thanks
in.
for having
thank you
us.
enough.
And sharing everything
Thank
with
you,
us.
Thanks for having
and
us.
you guys are awesome, and we definitely
Looking
love
forward to
have
having you
in
back.
the band.
I'm
Yeah.
glad, because we have nothing to say. Isn't that right?
No, we have nothing to say.
And we're just
quiet.
gonna take you out with the,
Yes.
with the tribute to AJ one more time.
Sure.
And
Thank
stay
you
with us
so
because we
much.
have a great lineup for this month, so keep watching Madhouse TV.